Guys, hello there and welcome to another one of my videos. This time we're gonna be taking a look at another coin farm design in Craft the World. In the last video like this we took a look at this puppy down here which farms dragons, but this time we're gonna take a look at something different. The farm down below here can be built in vanilla game, meaning you don't really need any DLCs, but this farm does require you to have two of those. First, you need the bosses and monsters DLC, and second, or just for convenience, you need the Sisters in Arms DLC. Let's waste no more time and let's look at it. It looks something like this, and now of course you might be like, well, that's not that pretty, and yeah, I kind of have to agree. It's more of an idea than anything. Obviously this design could be worked upon, but it definitely does work. The basic idea of this thing obviously is that if you ever saw the pirate invasion in Terraria, you might be like, well, these guys, they're somewhat challenging, but mostly they're just for farming money, right? That's what usually players do with that invasion in Terraria. So I was like, why not do the same with the pirate invasion in Craft the World? And this indeed does work great for farming coins. In fact, it is more effective than this farm down here. The problems though, as you can see, if you can see it somewhere up here, the FPS counter is not very happy right now. It's at 30 FPS. This farm does lag your game quite a bit, so it's a bit of a trade-off really. But as you can see, there's a lot of pirates, and yeah, they do drop a good amount of coins. They also drop the guns. As you can see, I have 404 rusty pistols here, and they also drop the skeleton's saber, 571 of those. These obviously can be used for some good too. You can go ahead and just make them into some iron, or in the case of the rusted pistols, into iron and sulfur. The problem is you don't really get the sulfur, so just a bunch of iron in the end. Obviously you probably noticed that there are 2 or 3 important parts to this farm. First one, you obviously do have to have the pirates here, and you might be wondering, why are these constantly respawning? The way to trick them to do this is to send your dwarves aboard the ship, and once they're here, there's actually some kind of script that triggers that keeps these spawning in. So just send your dwarves in and then recall them home, and they will be constantly spawning as much pirates as they humanly can. Then you have some kind of barricade here. I do have these signs here because a lot of my dwarves can actually fly now, and in some cases they would actually just try to fly in here and collect the stuff, which is something you obviously do not want. Now, as you can see right here, the cannon does shoot these cannonballs pretty often. This is obviously here so you can't cheese it. As you can see, we're doing that even then. But to protect yourselves from this thing, you build these walls here. You can of course rebuild this with standard blocks, but that does take up some of your time. So alternatively, you can place sand columns here, which actually do fall down once part of them is broken, so you don't have to rebuild these as much. or you can just hope that these leaves will grow in here and block the cannonballs. Either way, you want to block these so they don't cause any unnecessary damage on the rest of the map. So with these two things, or three if you do count this barrier, we have one last important thing here, which are obviously, as you can see, the catapults. They are the killing mechanism of choice. I think that you could probably design this with some other things too, but the problem with other things would be that the cannon would probably shoot them down. So yeah, bunch of catapults works just fine. Obviously you can probably position them a little differently. I just basically slapped them on here, hope that most of them would be doing what they should be doing, and as you can see, it works just fine. You do get your kills, and these keep respawning. And now to the method of actually collecting all of this, because obviously you probably don't want to run in here, right? That's not very practical. The ship has another like safety anti-cheese mechanism. You cannot use any spells. As you can see, magical energy is blocking my spells. So no portal in here, no these guys in here, nothing. Well, at least that's what seems like in the beginning. You can actually take, wait, I do have the spell here, right? Yeah, I do. You can actually take the magic collect spell, and as you can see, still not works. It still does not work, but if you try to cast it here below, boom, and here we go. We are just, wait, how much gold did I gain? Like 100? I was not really looking. I think I was like 120, 140. So yeah, basically I just gained over 100 gold here. Now this has probably been uncollected for some while, but you can see that this is super effective, and this requires literally no input other than rebuilding this. But then again, if you want something that's even lower maintenance, go check out my previous video, and yeah, there you can learn about this thing which does require zero action. For this to work, you actually do have to rebuild these if you don't want any damage to be inflicted upon your base, and as you can see, these guys are trying to grief me here. But yeah, this has been it. I think I did not forget anything, probably, hopefully. There are probably other ways to design this, but that's, you know, something you guys can find out for yourself. This is the way I build the farm. I think it's pretty effective, and it does serve its purpose quite well. The downside being you actually have to rebuild those, or hope for the leaves to regrow, or and you actually do have to sustain the terrible lag. As I said, 30 FPS on this map, and there is nothing I can do about it. It's just so many entities in here that I'd actually have to wipe them to get my FPS back. So if you don't mind a little bit of lag and you want some extra gold, go for this, do this, and yeah, if you want something more lightweight, build this one. Anyways, this will be all for me today in this video. I hope I did explain everything behind this as much as I should, and I hope that everyone does understand how to make this farm work. Once again, to trigger the response, you have to send your dwarfs in and then out. That triggers the response. But yeah, this will be all from me today. Like, comment, and if you want to get notified about my future uploads, subscribe. Have a nice rest of the day, and goodbye.